Do you like the game of basketball? Basketball is a sport that is loved around the world, predominantly in the United States. There are many different levels at which you can play the game of basketball. You can start all the way at the Pee Wee level when you're a little kid, and you can work your way up to the professional level like the NBA. Me, personally, I've been playing basketball ever since I was a little kid on the Pee Wee team, and I played throughout my middle and high school career. When it comes to the game of basketball, there are many different things that you can be good at that can make you a good basketball player. One of those things is dribbling. If you know how to dribble and create space between you and your defender, that makes it a lot easier for you to get shots off and be able to move the ball around. Three of the most common dribble moves that you can use are the crossover, the in and out, and the behind the back. Let's take a look at these three different dribble moves, starting with the crossover. The crossover is one of the most common and most used basketball moves throughout the game. It was first used by Oscar Robertson in the 1960s. It wasn't until Tim Hardaway that the crossover became one of the most used moves and one of the most impactful moves in the game. For example, with Allen Iverson, he got a nickname the killer crossover when he crossed Michael Jordan over and broke his ankles. This shocked the world, according to a famous basketball journal called Sir Charles in Charge, because MJ is seen as one of, if not the best basketball players in the world, and a man just came along, a rookie, Allen Iverson, and crossed Michael Jordan up with the most common move in the game of basketball, the crossover. To do a crossover is very simple. What you want to start out is using a head fake and jabs. You want to jab with one foot and head fake that you're going in one way, and quickly cross the ball over into your other hand. I'll show you. So, if the ball is in your right hand, what you want to do is head fake when you're going to the right, quickly cross the ball over to your left. It's very simple, but when you're playing the game, people are tired, and they're trying to hard guard one side, you can really get somebody with that move. The crossover is just one of the most common dribble moves that can enhance your dribbling repertoire. Alongside the crossover is in and out. The steps are very simple also, but what you can do is you can fake a crossover, which can really get the defender moving, and then do an in and out. What you do is you want to start, like you're going to jab your foot to one way and like you're going to go the other way. Head fakes are very important in all these dribble moves you'll see. You want to fake like you're going to do a crossover, so you actually want the defender to think you're going to do one. And what you want to do is quickly bring the ball back out. Here the ball is in your right hand. You want to jab where you're going to the left, use your head, and quickly come back out. This helps the defender think you're going one way while you're going the other, and you'll really get them moving. What you can also do is you can also use the in and out and make it into a crossover. So what you can do is you can do in and out first, and then go boom right into the crossover, so you can really get your defender confused. I'll show you. So you want to do the in and out and quickly come back and bring the ball into the crossover. That can get the defender leaning multiple ways. You can get the defender confused. You can get him to break his ankles. It's a very effective move. One person that used this a lot was Tony Parker. He played for the Spurs, and he's one of the most famous point guards in all of NBA history. He was a very small point guard, though, so he had to do something to help create space between him and his taller defenders. He made this move famous and used it quite often, and he was very effective with it. And now that you've seen two of the most common moves, let's bring to the next one. The behind the back is one of the more common moves and also a very deadly move. This was made famous by Bob Davies in the 1940s. He first played for Seton Hall College. Later on went to play for the Rochester Royals, where he won an NBA championship. According to another famous basketball journal called App, he didn't invent it, but he pioneered it and made it famous. It can be a very deadly move. So what's going to happen is, say a defender is hard guarding one side, you're dribbling the ball up with one hand. What you want to do is create space from that defender, but if he's hard guarding one side, it's kind of hard to go one way. So what you can do that can really create space is do behind the back. What you want to do is, say you're dribbling the ball up with your right hand. If he's hard guarding your right side and it's really hard for you to move, what you can do is pretend you're going to that side and boom, bring the ball back over. that can get the defender leaning backwards. It can also create a lot of space, and you can incorporate many different moves with the behind the back. See, those three moves are just some of the many ways that can help you enhance your dribbling repertoire. And there's many more out there, but these are probably one of the more common ones and probably the easiest ones to learn. Dribbling is a very important part of the game, especially if you're a position that has to dribble very well, like the point guard. The point guard is known as the person on the floor that passes the ball out to people, and he's the one that mainly dribbling the ball up from if they pass it in or whatever. He's the one that calls the plays. Crossovers, in and outs, and behind the backs are just some of the very common moves that you can use, but there are many more out there. If you ever find yourself interested in becoming a better basketball player, or maybe even just enhancing your basketball skills, these three basketball moves are probably where you need to start. And they're not really hard to learn. So if you ever want to learn them, just come back to this video and watch it.